Hi, this is Solway 17 Carlisle. Thanks for looking in. Today is a beautiful day, lots of sunshine and really nice and warm. We've had a really good spell of weather right the way through April. It's now the 10th of May. We're still in a kind of lockdown situation here, but I'm going to head out for a bike ride. So we're going to go out on the Solway plain on a pan-flat bike ride that looks right across the border, across the estuary towards Scotland. So I hope you enjoy it. If you've looked in to see stuff about the pizza oven or DIY, this is not the one, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. Thanks for looking in, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything and it helps the channel along. All the best. Cheers, let's get going. So, just coming out of Burgh by Sands, and I'm about to come down onto Burgh Marsh, which, as you'll see, is a very long flat stretch of road. As you'll see, there's lots of cyclists about. It's a good run out from Carlisle. It's about 6 miles out to this point, over the cattle grid. Oh. So as we enter the long straight road, you can see the open grassland and the embankment on the left, which provides flood defences to the fields behind. This is an area that does flood during the high spring tides. You can see some residual pools of water there, which are important for the wild birds that gather on the Solway mosses. It's also an important area for grazing cattle, and farmers graze cattle and sheep during the summer and autumn here. If you keep pedalling for 4 or 5 miles, you come to a little village called Drumburgh. Here you rise up from the Solway Marsh and into the little hamlet. On the left here you can see Drumburgh Castle, which is a 1307 peel tower rebuilt in 1518 using stone from Hadrian's Wall. You'll also see lots of flags flying at the moment. This is because it was VE Day weekend. So this is a really nice section of the ride. We're going out towards Port Carlisle. Port Carlisle used to be the port for Carlisle, which is another dozen or so miles behind me. It was connected via a canal to begin with, and then eventually the canal was superseded by the railway link. Both unfortunately are now long gone, but Port Carlisle still attracts quite a lot of visitors during the summer. There's quite a big caravan park just around the corner, and on the whole it's quite a nice, isolated, lonely, seaside estuarine sort of place really. Have a look. More cyclists. As we ride into Port Carlisle, you can see some of the very splendid houses that were built to house the
mariners and merchants of the port. Port Carlisle became important with the building of the canal in 1823. It lasted till 1853, when it was replaced eventually by a railway line. The railway line continued to take people to and from Carlisle, bringing visitors and holidaymakers to Port Carlisle until the closure of the railway in the 1930s.
So this is Port Carlisle. You can see over there the wharves, the jetties where the old boats used to moor up before discharging and getting their loads onto the railway and the canals, taking stuff off into Carlisle. Obviously long since gone, but the structures are still here. See, the tide's really flooding out now, heading away down the Solway. It's really running away fast. So we're just about to arrive in Bowness-on-Solway.
Bowness-on-Solway is built on a little elevated hillside just above the Solway. As you cycle up through the village along this little narrow road, you're struck by the position of the houses and how the front doors spill right out onto the street. It's a quaint little place and being gradually developed for the increasing number of visitors who come along the Hadrian's Wall National Trail. This is the start and end point for that particular footpath.
So Bowness-on-Solway is the little village right on the farthest end of the Hadrian's Wall, although it does extend a little bit round the coast, even towards Ravensglass. But it's 80 odd miles now over to Newcastle, and this is either the start or the end point. Behind me is RSPB Reserve Campfield, which is noted for its sort of wetlands. It's got a raised moss there and lots of wetland birds overwinter there. Anyway, we're right on the edge of the Solway, as you can see, looking over towards Carlisle and eventually around to Annan. So we're just going into Carlisle, which is a little hamlet right on the edge of the estuary, and it's the furthest point that I'm going to go to. So I'll start heading back inland. It's a nice little farming community. And once you get through this gap here, you're right out in the open again. Way, look at that. And through all that gorse, those masts are telecommunications for, I believe, NATO submarines out in the Atlantic, means of communicating with them. It's an MOD site, and so that's about as much as I know. But they're just masts and you can see them for miles around. And you know that when you've gone on a bike ride and you're heading out west towards the Solway, you see these masts behind us, you know that you've got to get round the back of them before you can swing back round to Kirkbride and then head back east towards Carlisle. Over here you've got the Lake District across the other side of the estuary, and then over there you've got Bowness-on-Solway, which is still navigable, and there's still port operations going on there for Carr's flour milling and feed processing. So you do get sort of carriers coming in to Bowness-on-Solway periodically, bringing grain and grain products. Right, let's press on. Next stop is Anthorn. So I'm just heading out of Anthorn on the Solway plain, heading back towards Carlisle with a tailwind, which is always good. Hope you've enjoyed the little ride with us. It's been a lovely sunny day. Take me about another 40 minutes or so to get back home. So that's my allocated exercise for the day. Thanks for looking in again, and if you've enjoyed it, please consider subscribing and give it a thumbs up. Cheers, all the best, bye bye.